Cynthia. So how are you? How are you doing? How's life these days?
It's fine, yeah. I'm starting to enjoy the warm weather.
Okay.
So it's been great.
Hmm.
Yeah, we just had a long weekend, so a lot of stuff to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah, it's even better than I ever imagined, I think.
Nice. How long has it been since you've landed in Toronto?
Oh, it's been almost 4 months now. It will,
Wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
went by so fast.
Yes, it did. And at the same time, it feels that I'm here for more time also. So it's crazy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Does it feel like home to you, or not yet? Are you still adjusting?
No, I think that it feels like home.
Hmm.
Yeah, but a home without my family, so that
Yeah.
part is a little weird. But no, I'm feeling great here. Yeah, I'm very used to it, I think.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to just get started with maybe a quick intro about yourself because people might not know exactly who you are, what is it you do, and maybe tell us a little bit about your story and why are you here? Why are you in Toronto right now? What happened?
Yeah. Okay, so my name is Cinthia. I am a software engineer. I have almost 10 years experience. I graduated in information systems back in Brazil, in Rio. And I'm married. I have two dogs. I brought them with me to Toronto. And I think that I'm here today because I obviously wasn't happy in
Hmm.
Brazil. Brazil is a beautiful country. I really love my country, but it's also has a lot of issues
Hmm.
like violence and corruption, and things weren't going the way I imagined in Brazil. So I started to look into move to a different country to have mainly a better life, I think,
Hmm. Hmm.
in general. Yeah. And I looked to Canada because Canada is known for being like very welcoming towards immigrants and also to the LGBT community.
Hmm.
And being a part of this community, I think that's the main important thing for me to move was to go to a place where I could feel welcome and well
Hmm.
received. So yeah, that's why I'm here, I think.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a story that I'm pretty sure a lot of people, with their own narrative, would share a similar story if they had to tell us why they're here. And I think it's a unique story to you, but it also sounds familiar to me. And I know that a lot of people go through the same feelings and have the same issues, and that's what they're looking for. And I think to me, it seems like a good choice. So that's good. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and so let's talk a little bit about let's go a little bit into details of how you got to know Global Skills Hub. What did you hear about us? What happened? What was your first impression? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, actually, I don't know exactly how I came to know Global Skills Hub
Hmm.
because I remember that it was in October and we just been through the first term of our presidential elections, and
Hmm.
that was my so how can I say that was the main
Like trigger.
motivation that yeah,
Hmm.
exactly,
Okay.
trigger,
Hmm.
perfect, that was the trigger for me to start looking to move. And then I started to do a lot of research about immigration. I subscribed to multiple tech companies websites. I saw videos on YouTube. I started to look into the express entry to really do that whole process of immigrating. And then I think that, I don't know, close to a week after I started to look into it, I received an email from Global Skills Hub. I think it was an email from Adeline. And the subject of the email was something like, "Are you ready to move to Canada?" Something like that. And I read the email. They had a form link that I should answer, and then that was it. So I think that actually Global Skills found me through those researches that I started doing. So I don't know exactly what if I sign up for Global Skills or to some different website, but that was it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, I probably know how we found you, but let's not get into that. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, that's good. So you got an email, you got through the process, and what was the process like? You mentioned you filled the form. What did you go through with Global Skills Hub in order to kind of get into the community, to be able to go, like, interview different companies?
Yeah, so the first step was that form. It has like questions related to my experience and also to get to know me a little bit better, I think, like personality and stuff. And right after I submitted the form, I received an invitation to a coding challenge where I could, it was like a challenge in the language that I provided in the form.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that also, and it also had some questions that I need to record answering.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I got in contact with Yusuf and
Mm-hmm.
also Luisa and you, I think, and I had an interview with you guys. And I think that's it. After the coding challenge, I got my profile approved with you guys, and then I got into the interview. And I think maybe a week after that, I had my first interview with a company. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So a week after that, you got your interview. I'm assuming that company was not TWG.
Yes. No, it
Okay.
wasn't TWG.
Was it? Uh-huh.
I didn't go well in that interview, but it was a great experience, I think. Yeah, it was the first one. So, but the TWG interview was right after that, so I didn't even had a chance to feel upset about it, you know.
Okay.
And actually, I already, because of Global Skills Hub and because of the posts that you do on LinkedIn, I already knew TWG and I already had stalked them. So I was
Okay.
pretty happy when they told me that I was going to be interviewing with them. So that was great.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. I mean, okay, so I'm gonna jump in and talk about a few points. So first point, um, you mentioned that you had a first interview and it didn't go too well. I think this is an experience that most people will have. It doesn't matter if you're doing this through the Global Skills Hub community, you're interviewing on your own. Interviews are always intimidating, especially if you're doing it remotely and in a new environment that you might not be familiar with a lot of different things. And so it's stressful. And I think what really helped you was that you jumped straight into the next one. So you were kind of a little bit maybe anxious or had some energy there, and then I think it just kind of went into your next interview. But the interesting thing is, I think the fact that you already knew about TWG and their great culture, you knew what kind of company they were, and you had your heart set on them. I think that automatically puts you in the right mindset to perform better and to be able to communicate what you're looking for and see if there's a good match. So that's what I understand from it. I think that's I don't know if that's the whole story, but to me that sounds like what should have happened. So
yeah, to me too. I think that I'm much happier now than I would ever been in any other company, I think.
that's good. That's good to hear. So
Yeah.
so then it sounds like your move to TWG was a success, and you feel like it was a good choice.
Yes, I feel if I had to choose, I would choose TWG if I have like a lot of different options, you know?
Okay.
So
Okay, I'm happy about that. That's good. That means that we were successful in connecting you to the right opportunity. Of course, you did the hard part, which was taking the right opportunity. But it's always important for us to work with great hiring partners, great companies that we know will take care of our community and will be a great home for them. Because you're changing your workplace and you're changing your entire life, right? So it's a big step.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good. Okay, so I'm happy that that's going well. But let's talk about maybe difficult parts of the process. Which part, was there any part of the process at TWG that was a bit, made challenging for you, or you were unsure about? Was there any parts of the process that you can think of?
Yeah, I think that every hiring process has its difficulties. So it's people often get very anxious about it because it's a change in life. It's something that you really want, and adding the language barrier on top of that also, and this whole life-changing situation, it can get very, very. I think that anxiety is the word for it.
Yep.
So at TWG, I had, I think, the 5 steps into this process. Some of the steps were easier. I was really, really anxious about them, and then it was much, much easier than I thought. But definitely, I think that the workshop that I had was the most difficult one, because I needed to address technical issues in a different language, and that was very challenging. So it's even hard to explain stuff in your own language. Imagine in a language that you're not used to, So definitely for me, that was the hardest part of the process. And I also had a coding challenge, but it was different because it was just me and the computer. So it was more like work, but the workshop, talking to different developers, being provided with a challenge live, that was tough. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, most interview processes are challenging by default, right? It's just the way
Exactly.
it is. You're in a position that you're being judged, and you're judging the company is judging you. Everybody's judging each other, for obviously good reasons. And you have a lot going on in your mind. So I think either way, it's going to be challenging for everyone. But I think it's about being in control of your process and knowing what you're looking for will definitely help you. And I think you were pretty clear about that, and I think that really helped you. So that's good. That's a great point. I hope people who are listening also take note of that. You really need to know what kind of company you're looking for, especially in terms of culture. I would say, with the technology stack, I mean, I think everybody's always open to learning different tools and working with different things. But if you find the right environment where you feel like there's a team that you can learn from and you can grow with, and they will support you, I think that makes all the difference. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also that the companies here, they're not looking, as you said, just for technical skills. They're looking for personality also. So I think that if you just show yourself, just show who you are and not what you think that people want to see, then you are in a good place, because they are looking exactly for different people with different backgrounds, different experience. So yeah. So and also the language is a tough spot, but with everything that I talked to, they were pretty understanding with that. So that's the reason why I said it was easier than I thought, because I was really afraid of not being able to communicate myself and to understand what the people in the interview were asking. And then I managed to do that. And I remember that my last step in the interview was with TWG CTO. And when I realized that before, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to talk to the CTO. And then the first thing that I said to him was, I'm really nervous. And then he answered me back like, oh, I'm really nervous too. And that did really calm me, So I was like, oh, he's nervous too. So it's okay to be nervous, And then we talked a lot. It was great. It was, great experience.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds like, I don't know, to me it sounds like you've had a great interview experience, and that's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that.
It was nerve-wracking also. I remember that by the end of each interview, when I hung up, I was like, oh my God, it felt like, I don't know, a train had run past me, you know, because it's very intense moment, but it was very great also. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Lots of intensity.
Yeah.
So let's rewind a little bit. So we talked about your interview process and everything. We'll go back to this at the end of our conversation, but I want to rewind a little bit. Go back to your experience when you were leaving your hometown. By the way, what was your hometown?
I'm sorry?
What was your hometown? You were from
I used to live in Rio.
Rio. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So describe those final days. What happened? How did it feel when everything was done? You had all your documents submitted. You had everything packed, and you had your ticket. What was the feeling?
Yeah, I think that I was extremely anxious, and through the whole process, I was like feeling that something could go wrong, and then everything went perfectly. And I was just anxious to live the life that I was imagining for the past 2 months, you know? So my last days were mostly packing and saying goodbye to my family and stuff. And I was really anxious to be here and get things done here, to find an apartment and to get to know TWG and everything. So yeah, I think that was it's so many things happening in your life, and you just, I remember that I saw things as like things that I had to solve, and then was just solving things, you know, just like I had a checklist and I was just, okay, I need to do that, this. And then I really didn't think about it. I was just doing it, you know?
Mm-hmm. I completely know. I 100% know how you feel. Wow. Okay. And what was the first day like in Canada? Tell me, like, what was the moment like when you arrived? Walk us through that.
The first day I arrived here in a Sunday, because I don't know if you know a lot of Brazilian people, but when I started to talk to people in Brazil that I was moving to Toronto, I didn't know anyone here, but I had like friends of friends that knew people that lived here, and then they introduced me to some friends online, and then they invited me to stay at their place, so I didn't need to rent a Airbnb or anything like that. So that was really nice, you know. So, and I ended up making friends here, you know.
Nice.
So it was amazing. Yeah. And the first day I came here, I went to their place, and then the realtor, the Global Skills Hub, introduced me with, he picked me up, and then we went straight to seeing apartments.
Nice.
So
nice.
I think that I saw 6 apartments that day. Oh, and actually the first thing that happened when I came here was that Cheryl from Global Skills Hub and Erica from TWG, they were waiting me at the airport, and that was really awesome also. So they even did like this poster saying welcome Cinthia, and they did like a custom shirt for me. So I really felt like being cared about, you know. That was amazing, and yeah, I will never forget that.
Nice. We also have the photos, so you're not going to forget it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Great. Okay, so I mean, I'm pretty sure, there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of different things on anyone who's moving, and I think it's important to just kind of take it step by step. As you said, like the checklist, just go through it, and you did that, and it's fine now. It's 4 months have passed, and you're doing okay. You have friends, everything seems okay. Have you found any like interesting local restaurants or shops that sell like Brazilian food or spices or things that make you feel like home in Toronto, or not yet?
Actually, I didn't look for Brazilian restaurants, because most of Brazilian restaurants, they are all about barbecue, and I don't eat red meat, so I didn't look for them. but I think that my partner, she found a e-commerce where they sell like Brazilian stuff that we don't find usually here. And I
Okay.
also went to a Portuguese market where I could find some Brazilian stuff also. So yeah, I'm okay with that. And I think that uh, there is a place that I really like here, but it's nothing to do with Brazil.
Okay.
It's called Marché Movenpick. It's a place where you can find a lot of different kind of food.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been there like 5 times already, I think.
Okay. So
It's
then you
really
like it,
nice.
then, definitely.
Yeah, and I really love Italian food, so also I can find that anywhere. So yeah.
Nice. That sounds good. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what surprised you about Canada?
Oh, what surprised me? I think that I arrived in like the coldest week of the winter. Yeah, that
Okay.
was people said to me when I was here. It's like minus 37 degrees. And I think that that was great because I got a chance to experience that right in the beginning. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it will be. You know, people go out, people go to the street, people do their things. They are not like inside their home. No, they go to work, they do stuff. So it was, if that's like the worst thing about Canada, then I'm really great here, you know. So we don't have like uh, anything to concern, you know, if the weather is the
Mhm.
worst thing. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that surprised me, but it surprised me in a good way, you know. I thought it was going to be a really tough, and then I was able to handle it. So yeah. And
That's good.
also, I think that what surprised me was that I knew that I was going to a safer country, a safer city,
Hmm.
and I thought that I was going to. I thought it was going to take me a while to get used to being in a safer place, but it was like almost instant. You know, I felt safe right in the first days I was here, like walking the street at night, taking uh, the bus and or the subway at night. I felt safe instantly. So that was awesome.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
Um, I'm happy to hear that. And I think the things that you're talking about are, again, I mean, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I think it's just important for everyone to kind of understand that these are the same concerns that we all have, right? When you're moving to a new place, you're concerned about your life. What are the challenges? What about my safety? What about my home? What about all these different things?
Mm-hmm.
And I think these are challenges that everyone will face no matter where they relocate to. So they're all, challenges that you can overcome. And I think it shouldn't be a barrier if you really feel like, your heart is set on moving to wherever, let's say Canada, and you found a great company that you want to join and a great opportunity for yourself. I don't think these are things that should be stopping you, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily, it's not necessarily a move for everyone, but I think if you decide that this is where you want to go, this is what you want to do, I don't think anybody should be worried about these things. These things will all be taken care of. We're going to help you. People like you, Cinthia, are probably going to help them, right? They might
Yeah.
introduce you to them, and other Brazilians that come, you're going to be the pioneer there, and you're going to kind of figure out how things work. So we're going to introduce them to you, and things are going to be sorted out. So the point for me is, you don't need to really worry about these things, and they will be taken care of.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. So, um, talking about kind of your life in Canada, tell us a little bit about your work life. What does your work life look like in TWG? What does a day look like? Could you tell us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I arrive at TWG around 9:30 every day. I leave around 5:30.
Hmm.
So it's pretty calm, very different than the experiences that I had in Brazil, the previous one.
Hmm.
So, and people here at TWG, they try to introduce you to this work and personal life balance. So they are really worried about that. They feel that you need to have a life, you know, so you can be the best employee that you can.
Hmm.
So that's a great thing also. And mostly during the days, I am in this project, and we have like all of these meetings, because we in here we work with the agile methodology, so we have meetings related to that kind of methodology. So every day we have this stand up where we talk about the tickets that we are working on, the status of the tickets. And during the week we have also sprint planning, grooming, retros, demos, and yeah. So it's if you have had worked with agile methodology before, it's pretty much the same. So I had worked with it in Brazil, so I can relate to that. But the environment is very different. It's much more calm. It's much more people are much more concerned if you are happy or not. So that's a nice thing, yeah, to have. I'm not used to being so well taken care of. I'm getting used to that.
That's good. That's good. Why not? You deserve it.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. So I think we covered a lot of the kind of initial questions I had about your experience, but I'm a little bit curious about the next few months for you. Do you have anything planned? Anything new that you're trying to explore? Maybe you're planning like some sort of interesting trip, or in Canada, or I don't know, some kind of activity or something interesting that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, actually, my mom, she's coming here in June, so I'm really anxious to get her here and do stuff with her. I didn't do a lot of touristic stuff because I'm waiting for her to arrive so we can do them together. So that's the main thing for the next month. She's going to spend 2 weeks here in the beginning of June. And I'm also me and my partner, we are preparing the documentation for us to apply for the permanent residence. So that's something that we are working on also, and also working on our English. And yeah, I think that I'm just going to enjoy the summer in the city, get to really know the city and the city events and everything. And in terms of trips, I think that we are going to Niagara Falls with my mom when she's here.
Of course. Yep.
Yeah. And basically, that's it. Yeah, for the next month, I think we are going to apply for the permanent residence. We are gathering all the documentation for that because it's something that we don't want to leave it for the last minute, So we feel that it's something that it should be taken care of right away. Yeah, Perfect. And just enjoy the warm weather.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Okay. Great. And actually, you mentioned also that you're going to be also working on your English. So I'm going to jump into actually a question. I'm going to slowly jump into questions from the community, but there was a specific question about this from our community. So someone asked, does your Brazilian accent bring you any difficulties? And if so, how are you planning to improve your English skills? Are you taking in classes or something?
Okay, yeah. I don't think that the Brazilian accent brings any difficulty. I think that almost everyone here in Toronto has an accent because a lot of people were born here or their parents were born here. So that's not an issue for me. I think that the main issue is being able to speak correctly,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I don't mind having an accent because I'm from Brazil. So I don't expect to be speaking like a Canadian, and I don't think that people expect that from me, but I know that I have some issues that I need to work on so I can make myself more understandable, The other day I was talking to a friend here at TWG. We were talking about Game of Thrones. I don't know if you watch it.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
I was talking about a scene where somebody was telling a person that the person was not a sheep, like the animal. And then I said ship, and then it was like a ship, like, that sails, and that was funny. So that kind of stuff is the stuff that I'm trying to work on, So I have this, I don't know, not all the words I can pronounce them in a way that people will understand.
Yes.
So So, but it's fine. I think that this will come with time. I think so. I hope so. So
Perfect.
otherwise we'll keep having these funny moments where I say that kind of stuff, you know, but it's okay. And I'm not doing any classes right now, but I have the contact of a person that works exactly with these issues, that the kind of words that Brazilian people are not, the kind of sounds that Brazilian people are not used to speak, you know. But I didn't went to those classes yet, but I plan to.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
But,
Amazing.
you know, don't, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say that I think your attitude towards it is amazing, and I think, I mean, to me, accent doesn't mean anything. You know, I think it's actually very, very nice. But for a lot of people, for some reason, it just feels like, having an accent might be a barrier for your success or fitting into society or, being part of a community, which I think you're a case where you're evidence that that's not true, and we can definitely do whatever you want to. It is absolutely not a barrier for you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
I
I think that people here, they really appreciate the effort that you're doing on speaking a language that in yours it's not your mother tongue, you know. So it's, yeah, I don't, and I ask people to correct me when they can. So yeah, it's not an issue really. And as I said, it's not something that I want to erase, you know. It's part of who I am, it's part of my history. And I think that's why Canadians are also looking for people from outside, you know. They don't expect to hire people that are like Canadians. So
Yep.
so it's part of the package. I think it's not an issue at all.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's go to other questions from the community. We also have a few questions in the Q&A. I'm going to get to that soon, but the topic of money has come up a few times. I mean, if you like, you can answer this question. You don't have to, but someone asked, so how much did it really cost you to relocate? What kind of a figure should they be prepared for? How much money should they save up? Or do you have any, can you give them any numbers or advice there?
Yeah, I think that it depends if you have if you're bringing your family or not. So in my case, I came with my wife and our two dogs. So we had a different kind of expenses because of the dogs. And but I think that, and also one thing that is important is that in here, when you are going to rent a place, you need to have the money for the first and the last rents. So that's something that you need to pay right away. So that's a lot of money. And usually a rent here in Toronto, one bedroom apartment, it's around $2,000. So that's a lot of money. And then when you give, like, the first and the last is $4,000. So that's something. And we also have the plane tickets. That depends on where you are. But I think that I spend around $800 in my plane ticket, just mine, not my partner. And also there's like furniture and also the life insurance that you need to pay for the first 3 months because you're not covered by the public health here because of that. I think that's for one person, around $4,000 plus the, yeah, it depends, but I know that my expenses were around $8,000 and $10,000 with furniture also. So
so
yeah,
we'll round it up to
but people can like spend more or less. That depends on what type of furniture you want to buy and stuff like that, you know. Most of my furniture I bought from IKEA, so it's very cheap.
I think you definitely made the right choice. You have a lot of time to collect, I don't know, expensive furniture if you wish at some point in the future, but that's great. Okay, so we're just gonna, just for the sake of giving people a number, we're gonna just say 10K is what you should be roughly thinking about if you have a family, a small family. And so I think that makes sense. Okay, good. We can agree on that number. That's
okay.
Good. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
another question we had from the community, and I think this will probably be the last question I'm gonna focus on from the community, but someone asked about your technical interview. Do you think, so the question is mainly about making mistakes on your technical interview. Do you think you made any mistakes? And do you think there was like a tolerance level for how many mistakes you made, or what kind of mistakes you made? Do you have any insights there to share?
I think I probably made a lot of mistakes. I think so.
Okay.
But I was able to pass an idea of what I meant, and that's the thing that I think that mattered the most, you know. So I was able to understand the question. That's the main thing. You need to understand the question, you know. And then I use a lot of things that happened to me, like experiences in previous jobs also. And I think they have a level of like they will forgive you if you make some mistakes, and they know that you are like really anxious about it also, so that's kind of undermines a little bit the interview. But yeah, I think that if you pass the message that you know what are you talking about, even though you don't answer all the questions, they can have an idea of what kind of developer you are, you know.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Perfect response. Perfect response. I hope listeners took note of that and how they should be approaching.
I just remember one thing that I did a lot before the interviews and during the interviews also was that I watched a lot of videos, technical videos online in English. I think that helped me a lot. So not watching in my mother tongue in Portuguese, I started to watch in English with subtitles, so I was able to talk a little bit more freely about the technology, you know, I think.
Perfect. Actually, if you have any links to those, I'm going to grab them from you and share it with the community later on. But it's definitely great practice to prepare yourself, do as much as you can, because yes, interviews are designed to understand what kind of developer you are, how you approach problems, how you think about solutions, and if you're aware of your mistakes and whether you're able to identify different scenarios, different ways of solving a problem. And I think that shows itself if you're at least aware and confident about the type of problems that are going to be thrown at you. A lot of them are mathematical, algorithmic. Some of them are basic stuff, right? But it's important how you approach them, and sometimes you might be anxious and it might be actually more difficult than you think to respond on the spot. So preparation is definitely the key, and you don't want to miss an opportunity just because you didn't spend a few hours practicing and you just got caught off guard. So yeah, definitely super important. And actually, talking about important points, I'm going to slowly kind of wrap up the conversation. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're quite busy. So was there anything you wish you knew before you started this process? Or what I'm trying to look for is advice for candidates. What would you tell Cinthia 6 months ago, I don't know, 8 months ago, to have a better chance of doing this, or maybe feeling less anxious or having a easier time going through this process? What kind of points would you give?
I think that one great thing to do is to talk to people like me, to watch webinars and even reach for the people that successfully moved here, you know? So I remember that I did that. I talked to Hafsa, who is already here for, I don't know, more than 6 months now, almost a year, I think. And I talked to people, I talked to a Brazilian person also. I think that she's here now. It's Marcela. I didn't have a chance to talk to her in person yet, but I talked to her. And also, I think it's great to get to know a little bit more about the program that you are getting here into the global talent stream. What is global talent stream? What is LMIA? Stuff like that also. And I think that's, you know, the more people that global skills brings here, the more, the less anxiety people that are not here yet would feel, you know, because I remember that through the whole process, I was like, oh my God, is this really going to work, you know? And if it would be much, it would have been a much better if I already knew that it was going to work, you know, and seeing like successful cases like mine, it's something that it can reduce the anxiety, you know, that's what I think. So, and also regarding the interview process, I think that definitely it's like personality really counts, you know, they're really looking for people with different backgrounds, different experiences. So don't try to be something that you think they want you to be, just be yourself, because that's exactly what they're looking, you know. So, and they will see also, you know, if you're not being yourself, if you're trying to be something that you aren't. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. Great advice. Yeah, you don't need to pretend to be something you're not. Just, you know, be true
And
to
if
who
you're
you are.
nervous, you can say you are nervous. They know you are nervous. You know, it's impossible not to be nervous in this kind of situation. So it's okay to be nervous. It's fine. You know, just try your best to be yourself and pass the knowledge that you have, and try to make people see the potential that you have also.
Absolutely. Actually, I would probably be worried if you're not nervous. So
yeah, me too.
it's totally natural. It's part of the experience, actually. So you know, you take that nervous energy and turn it into excitement and show that you actually care. Because when you're nervous, it means you care about something, and I think you can show it. So as long as, you know, you're honest, and it's okay to show your vulnerability. It's okay to be upfront with the person you're talking to, and so I think those things will definitely help you out. Amazing. Is there anything else that I missed? Anything I should have asked you? Anything in particular that you wanted to touch on?
I don't know. I think that, yeah, I'm really thankful to you guys for finding me. Someday I will find out how you found me. But yeah, I still can't believe all the things happened to me. I remember the last night I was preparing for this interview, and I was like looking to the emails, and it's like it's unbelievable, you know. So I'm really happy to be here. Yeah, I'm really happy that you found me, and I can thank you guys enough for that. And through all the process, you've been amazing, and I'm very glad that I have the chance to, you know, tell my story and help other people that are in the same situation I was. I don't know, 6 months later, 6 months before that. Yeah.
I know, and believe me, we're super happy that we found you. You part of your process when you applied to us, you had a video. I'm not gonna share the video with anyone, but you had a video and you explained why you want to move, and it was just so moving and so honest. I loved it, and immediately I shared it with the team, and everybody was just like, okay, we definitely need to find Cinthia something right now. So it just kind of became like this mission for everyone, and that's why everything moved so fast for you. You know, your story was so powerful for us. We have a lot of applicants, but we just, for some reason, we felt like, you know, it's your time. It's your time to do this, and so I think that kind of motivated everyone to work maybe a little bit extra harder. I know, you know, other people might be jealous, but that's what it is. So that's how we roll. But it was good. I'm super happy that we found you, and I'm happy that you're here, and I'm also happy that you're happy with your situation, and you like your position, you like your city, you're happy with your partner and your 2 dogs. So I think that's all that matters. That's good.
Yeah, really appreciate all the effort that you guys did. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so it was great talking to you, Cinthia.
You too.
I wish you a great summer. Enjoy it while it lasts before winter comes. Yeah, I hope we get to see you soon. Hopefully, we'll be connecting some amazing new members from our community to you if they need help, or if they're right about to move and they need advice from someone who's now a local. So we'll definitely connect them to you. And it was amazing talking to you. I wish all the best for you, and take care.
Yeah, I'm really thankful also. And if anyone else wants to add me on LinkedIn and ask more questions that I didn't answer here, feel free to do that. Yeah, I'm more than happy to help. Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much, Mo.
Have a great day. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.